Hi everyone, welcome to this second tutorial on understanding HTML and in particular HTML5. This one's going to be focusing on understanding exactly what containers are and what tags are and how they work. If you're unsure about the structure and you're new to HTML or HTML5, take a look at video 1 and that will give you some understanding of where we are with the structure. But this is basic structure now. This is a basic structure of HTML, and it's just created a few tags. And these are some of the tags. So here we have a header tag and a paragraph tag. Here we have a title tag and this head tag here and a body tag here, and this is a HTML tag. This tag here isn't actually a tag. This is actually just a doc type, although it looks similar to these other tags. It's not actually a tag. In fact, it's just declaring the doc type, and in this case it starts with the left angle bracket, exclamation mark, doc type, gap, HTML, right angle bracket, and that says the document type is going to be a HTML5 document. Now here, if we have a look at some of these, say this H1 tag here, which stands for the header tag, the first header tag. This here is what I would say is sort of like the classic tag, and the tags are foundations of exactly what creates most HTML pages. So a tag is written this way. You have a left angle bracket, then the name of the tag, in this case it's a H1 tag, and a right angle bracket. And there are certain names you must use in order for it to be a tag. There are websites you can go to which will give you sort of like the basics of most of these tags. In the later tutorials we'll be looking at these tags, so the way you can familiarize yourself with them is just have either a cheat sheet full of these tags, or just continue with these tutorials and you'll get to know most of the basic tags. So left angle bracket, H1, right angle bracket, and then you close a tag with left angle bracket, then this forward slash, the name of the tag, and a right angle bracket. And you'll notice in H1 it encapsulates this piece of text here, which is what's going to be written because it's a header tag. So this is HTML document structure. And if I just run that, say in Chrome. Let's launch it in Chrome and bring it over because it's on another screen. You'll see that's the H1 tag there, and that's what happens to it. So it displays that font and that type. This information in between the tag can be seen as a container. So it's called a container, really, the tag. So we have a tag at the top, tag at the bottom, and it is a container because it contains information. Now, you can see again that this head tag here does the same thing. This opens with the left angle bracket, then the name, then the right angle bracket, and down here it has the left angle bracket, the forward slash, the name of the tag, and then the right angle bracket, and it contains all this information. So the head of the document is encapsulating all this bit here, and remember the head of the document is information which contains information which relates to the entire document. So if I publish this again, launch in Chrome, you'll see up at the top here when I bring it in, it says this is a sample document. This refers to the entire page, so I'd have the body of the HTML document going down here, and this refers to information that is for the entire page. Now, you'll notice here this tag, this meta tag, is somewhat different. Now, this meta tag is called a standalone tag. It starts off with the left angle bracket and the name of the tag, similar to the other tags, but here it has some attributes, and then it closes itself with a forward slash and then the right angle bracket. You could equally write it this way. So I could close that tag like that, and then close it the same way, and that would work just as well, except it wouldn't work because there's a little mistake there. So it'd have to be forward slash then the name. So that would work just as well. Essentially what this is doing is it's creating two tags and an empty container. So there's no information in between these two tags, which is where I'm pointing to there. But the quicker way to do it, if I just Control Z that back, or Command Z if you're on a Mac, the quicker way to do it is to do it with this sort of self-closing tag. So it just stands alone on its own because there's no other information to go inside of it. Now technically you don't even have to add that /. HTML can be written without that /, so you could just write it like that. But there is a stricter version of HTML called XHTML that your documents may end up in, and that then would require the / right angle bracket. So it's just better just to do it out of good practice, and also you can kind of tell that it's a standalone tag easier, I find. So that's the best way to probably do it, just in case you move your code from one document to another, or load your code into another document. Now these standalone tags, and actually tags which carry attributes, are quite different from these sorts of tags which have, like, say, the title. So if you want to include an attribute into your tags, what you have to do is the following. So let's take a look at this link one here, and this would work the same for the meta one as well. So we'll just have a look at link. So we have a left angle bracket link, then over here is a standalone tag, so we have a / and the right angle bracket. Now here we have some of the attributes that are being included here. In fact, actually the attributes are these names at the beginning. So rel, which is relationship in for this link, because this link document, this link tag is actually linking a type of document to this HTML page. So the relationship, the type, and the reference, so where it's located. Now let's take a look at just the relationship first. So rel, which is relationship, and its relationship to the document is style sheet. Now this is the value. So here we have attribute, and the attribute equals a value. Once again, in a similar way to this /, it's not actually needed in HTML that you have these quotes. You can get away with it without quotations. You could use single quotes, but if you use single quotes, you've got to use both single quotes. Or you can just keep it the double quotes. It's still probably better to keep it as double quotes, because if you use it in a stricter form of HTML or HTML, it may cause problems. So it's an easier thing to do just to include these characters than not include them and run into trouble later. Also, interestingly enough, this type attribute, which has the value of text / CSS, is actually not either needed in HTML5 either, but it's still kind of good practice to include it for the same reasons as before, why you include some of these extra characters here and here, just in case you use it on earlier versions. And the href attribute has the value of main.css. That's only in this example. Wherever you linked your CSS, your cascading sheet styles from, would be the location that this should be here. So if you called it like my main CSS .css, that would be what you call it. Or if you had it, say, in a folder called CSS, and then it was inside there, it'd be CSS / main CSS. So that's just that attribute there, how you include those attributes inside the main link tag. It's one of those things that you just have to get to know. Sometimes it's good to say, if you look at something like the W3 school, you can find all of these here, and you can see that there's examples of them. And when you first start out, you could just copy and paste that into your document. But as long as you have sort of some understanding of how it's working, you could come in here and then change where you're using your CSS. So where it says theme CSS, you would just change that to your location of your file and the name of your file. So that's how tags, containers, values and attributes actually work, and how you can write them. And as we go through this tutorial set, you'll start to become familiar with some of them in more depth and what they actually bring to the HTML document and how to use them.